From the outside, Casa Nova presents itself as a holy sanctuary. In reality, it operates as a spiritual fortress, engineered to protect a family's prestige. A generation ago, a crushing financial debt threatened to tear the estate apart. To save his property, Patriarch Don Aurelio surrendered his biological granddaughter to a hidden lineage, wiping her name from the public record. He used the language of Catholic obedience to mask a brutal transaction. A human child is removed from a family tree and replaced by a ledger entry marked paid. This suppressed document became the operating system for the estate. The entire structure of the house rested on that single erased node. Casa Nova's survival depends on maintaining that spiritual lie. When a building is balanced on a keystone of silence, its collapse becomes a matter of when, not if. Today, the estate is led by Lucia Isabel. She has attempted to transform the house into a gospel ministry, using public testimony and Christian hymns to create a narrative of redemption. Then, the erased daughter returns, a formidable, disciplined opponent, shaped by ultra-Orthodox Judaism, returning to claim her authority. She demands a total theological takeover, to strip away the gospel ministry and install a Kabbalistic center for the arts, reclaiming the buried bloodline. This is a spiritual civil war. Two competing visions of salvation are fighting for the same ground, and the house cannot survive the friction between them. The conflict has split Casa Nova into contested territories, with 4 distinct traditions claiming different rooms. This cross-section shows the divide. Catholic tradition claims the altar, while Lucia's gospel calling commands the pulpit. Outside, Gabriella's Sephardic Jewish memory rises from the vineyard. Meanwhile, the daughter's Kabbalistic framework presses against the exterior gates like a rival revelation. The building has become a pressurized containment vessel. It is physically unable to house 4 contradictory religious truths at the same time. The tension comes to a head over a single text, the suffering servant in Isaiah 53. Lucia sees the servant as an image of redemptive love. The daughter sees the passage as a record of her people's collective exile and the suffering the family ignored. The daughter refuses to let her Jewish heritage be baptized into Lucia's ministry. She rejects any attempt to turn her stolen life into a metaphor for someone else's salvation. Gabriella, the mother of the stolen child, steps into the center of the conflict to act as the moral witness. She delivers an ultimatum. Lucia cannot hide historical erasure behind gospel language, and the daughter cannot use her pain to build a throne for vengeance. Gabriella's rebuke forces both women to realize that any theology based on absolute control will only recreate the original sin of erasure. When the daughter's erased name is finally spoken aloud, the ideological mortar holding these stones together vanishes. Without the lie to support the structural weight, the house simply fails. The structure fails like a corrupted operating system hitting a fatal error. The physical collapse is the only outcome for a house built on fraud. The heirs stand in the ruins and accept the cost of the truth. They realize they must never rebuild a single unified theological fortress. Tearing down the walls of power was the only way to allow each tradition to stand on its own. In the open air of the ruins, they hold the night of restored names, transforming the court into a space for communal witness. The daughter leads a Sephardic chant, and Lucia sings a gospel refrain underneath it. They share the acoustic space without merging into a single voice. They call this the vineyard model, transitioning from conquerors of a fortress to custodians of a shared ecosystem. In this model, Sephardic, Kabbalistic, Catholic, and gospel traditions stand side by side. They draw from the same soil while maintaining the space between them. The history of Casa Nova proves that an institution built on erasure can only be redeemed when its heirs surrender their desire for control. Only then can they share the burden of the truth.